Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome back to new video. Previously in this chapter agriculture we have seen different type of cultivation, types of farming, primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, and the third one we have seen commercial farming. Afterwards we have seen the cropping pattern in India, which is categorized into three different seasons. First, Rabi, winter, Kharif, monsoon, and third one, Zaid, during summer season. Now let's talk about different types of crops in India. We have seen pattern and types of farming, cultivation. Now types of crops in India. As we know that varieties of food crops and non-food crops are grown in different parts of India. Many reasons behind that, means why people grow cotton here and why people prefer rice in the northeastern states of India. Means region to region, area to area, types of crops are different because certain factors influence on the type of crops. So such kind of factors, so crops are depending upon variation in soil, type of land, climate, cultivation practices, culture, right? So those factors affect types of crops in India. Major crops are grown in India are mainly rice, wheat, various millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, various oilseeds, and cotton and jute. So those types of different crops are categorized into different categories, classified. So first, basic classification here: food crops. Now food crops means crops which we utilize as food, right? Like different types of cereals, millets, pulses, fruits, right? So tea, coffee, those crops are food crops. So we utilize them as food. Second, non-food crops. Non-food crops. So mainly those kind of crops we use as raw materials in industries, like fiber crops, jute and cotton. We utilize them as industrial raw material, right? So here those are the classification of crops. So let's discuss about them. Here in different types of crops, you have to remember various characteristics, various features about each of the crops. What kind of features? Like example, first we are going to discuss about rice. So what kind of soil does it require? As well as climate, which area is suitable for it, right? So those things we count, those are the features we remember. If question in exam mainly like this, that write a brief note on rice, so you can write about them, as well as it can be question like mention the suitable climate and type of soil required for growing of rice crop. So those can be your question. Here today I am going to explain about rice, wheat and millets. These three crops I am going to take today. And but remember, during the note session I will provide you the best way to remember their characteristics, their features, which you need to write. So later I will provide to you. Now today I am going to discuss about the first crop, rice. Rice. So here crops can be classified into like staple crops, basic crop, staple food, because most of the people use as their main crop, main food. So rice considered as a staple crop, staple food crop of majority of the people in India. Our country is second largest producer after China. Second largest producer after China. It is Kharif crop. Kharif crop, we have seen that crops which grown on set of monsoon and harvesting time September to October. Now here Kharif crops. What kind of climate required for the rice crop? So here it requires higher temperature, which is generally above 25 degrees Celsius. Higher temperature with high humidity. As well as it requires heavy rainfall. Annual rainfall, it requires more than 100 centimeters. So, but many of the areas in India which grow rice, but rainfall remains less, average rainfall remains less than 100 centimeter annual. So, what do? They generally use irrigation method. So, if adequate rainfall is not available in the area, in the region, so in such case irrigation facility can be utilized. So areas with less rainfall, it grows with the help of irrigation. Rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India. Remember which states generally take rice as their main food, staple food. So mainly northeastern states of India, southern states of India, as well as some eastern states of India, they generally take rice as their main food. Sometimes generally twice a day in meal, afternoon lunch as well as in the supper, they used to take rice with other dishes. So, and these regions, as you know, northeastern parts of India, suitable for cultivation of rice, as well as southern parts of India also suitable for cultivation of rice. So, here rice is grown in the northern plains as well as northeastern states of India, coastal areas of deltaic region, coastal area of deltaic region. So mainly here eastern coastal areas. Earlier you have learnt about the eastern coast of India, which is deltaic region. Many rivers like Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari, right? Those rivers have formed deltaic region in the southeastern part of India, in the peninsula, eastern part of peninsula India. So this region also suitable for growing rice. So people take rice as one of the main crops. More development of dense network of canal irrigation and tube well have made it possible to grow in the areas of less rainfall like Punjab, Haryana, comparatively less rainfall. But still due to modern means of farming, mainly irrigation facilities, made it possible to grow rice in the Punjab, Haryana and some part of Uttar Pradesh as well as northern part of Rajasthan, small northern part of Rajasthan also utilized for growing rice. So these are the features of rice crop. Now second staple crop we are going to discuss about, that is wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop. It is main food crop in north and northwestern part of India. Gujarat region, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, some part of Madhya Pradesh, as well as Punjab, Haryana, some part of Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. So the northern part and northwestern part of India, people here prefer wheat as their daily food. Like here people eat roti, we call it chapati or roti, as well as in northern part of India they use paratha. And those are the main food of people which basically made of wheat. This is Rabi crop. Wheat is a Rabi crop and it requires cool growing season and bright sunshine at the time of ripening. It requires rainfall too, but mainly cool winter. Rice requires higher temperature, 25 degrees Celsius or above. Here wheat requires lower temperature. And this is the Kharif crop. So winter is suitable for the cultivation of wheat. It requires 50 to 75 centimeter annual rainfall compared to rice. Rice requires more than 100 centimeter of annual rainfall, and wheat requires here 50 to 75 centimeter of annual rainfall, evenly distributed over the growing season. It doesn't require that 75 or 50 centimeter in a day or in a week, but eventually distributed during the growing season. There are two important wheat growing regions in the country. Two important wheat growing regions in the country. So the Ganga Satluj plains and the northwest and the black soil regions of Deccan. The major wheat producing states are, now here states, about states on the basis of crops, means in which state mainly wheat produces as well as rice produces, right? So about this production of different crops we will detail discuss, means we will identify, we will recognize in the map session, right? Map work session which we will going to conduct after the after finishing the chapter, after the notes around that. Right, so you will know much better in the map session about those different uh, wheat growing states as well as rice and other crops. So let me tell you the major wheat producing states, Punjab and Haryana. During this different crops, you will find something is common. Just I am giving you tip to remember states. Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. These three states are mainly common in most of the crops. I am not telling all the crops, but most of the crops, those states are common. In rice we have seen Punjab, Haryana and some part of Uttar Pradesh as well as in wheat too, right? But yes, we know that Punjab and Haryana they are famous for growing wheat, as well as some part of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and some part of Madhya Pradesh also well known for growing wheat. So here it's about wheat. Now we are going to discuss about the third one, millets. Jowar, Bajra, Ragi are the important millets grown in India. Those millets are called coarse grain because they are generally tasteless as well as they consider as cheap type of grain. However, those millets are important for their nutrition. They have very high value of nutrition. For example, ragi is very rich in iron, calcium, and other micronutrients. As we know that if you have visited bakery, then multigrain bread are available nowadays popular. As well as we people take cereals in the morning, cornflakes and such kind of the cereals, right? So as well as you will drink, I think so, like malt based beverage like Bournvita, Horlicks or some other kind of those beverage powder with milk. So those things contain such kind of millets. You can observe it in the ingredients because actually those are coarse grain and this generally people do not prefer. Yet this type of grain contain high value of nutrition, right? So ragi is important as well as jowar, right? So let's talk about jowar, ragi and bajra in which area they are grown. Jowar is the third most important food crop with the respect to area and production after rice, wheat. Third one is jowar. It is rain-fed crops mostly grown in the major areas which hardly needs irrigation. We know that whole India is not covered with the irrigation system. Very less area covered with the irrigation system. So states or area which do not have irrigation facilities, so they grow jowar because not very difficult to grow as it is rain-fed crop. More major jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh during the year 2011-12. Now let's talk about the second one, Bajra. Bajra grows well in sandy soil and shallow black soil. Major Bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana in the year 2011-12. In Gujarat we know that Bajra food are famous mainly in the Kutch and Kathiawad region. as well as in the Rajasthan like dal bati and such kind of food, basically from Bajra, right? So here food dishes also tell about the major crops of that particular region. Now third one, Ragi. Ragi crop is of dry regions and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soils. Major Ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. It can grow without the irrigation facility. So even harsh climatic region like the Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, right? So those states, Jharkhand, those states also grow ragi. Easy to grow for them. So sometimes farmers grow in their backyard. So here we have seen three major cereal crops grown in India. So for three types, so mainly we counted first rice, second wheat, third jowar. After that we have seen that bajra and ragi as well. In coming video we will discuss about maize and pulses. Alright, thank you so much. See you later.